Hello, I am Costa, and this is Roxxare Instant Coaching. Today, I'll be analyzing a replay submitted by user Tobiven, playing Viktor in the mid lane in Plat 2 Elo. So before the game starts, we want to look out for a couple of things. So first, Viktor is against Cassiopeia. So at this point in time, and in this game in general, Viktor should not have kill pressure over Cassiopeia unless one of the two players makes a mistake. That means that Viktor should be trying to outpush Cassiopeia so that she can't CS under turret. Even though Cassiopeia is pretty good at CSing under turret, she's definitely going to miss a few CS by Viktor consistently pushing her. And then, because of Elise kill pressure, or gank pressure rather, Viktor should opt into either going back after pushing the lane or ganking top or bottom. So Viktor's win condition in this game is to push in the lane, gank. And this is what he should be doing throughout the game again and again and again. Now, looking into the individual lane matchups, Renekton against Riven. This is a pretty equal lane. If the Riven is good enough, she can beat the Renekton, but I would say that this lane slightly favors the Renekton simply because he has more damage early game. So top lane should be a prime ganking target for Viktor and Lee Sin as the jungler for that matter, simply because Riven tends to go aggressive and Renekton has the CC to back up and the damage to pull off a very good gank. Now bot lane is a Vayne Karma lane against a Lucian Sona. So Lucian Sona should definitely win this lane by out-sustaining Vayne Karma. Vayne is not very good early game, and Lucian has a lot of damage early game, so it has Sona. So we expect bot lane to be pushing towards the enemy turret. As such, bot lane is not a very good gank target for Viktor. So the game plan now is push mid, gank top, go back, and repeat. Now let's see how this game plays out. I want to point out that Elise is starting in her red buff, which is pretty weird in my opinion. I think she's just being scared of being current jungle by Lee Sin, or she wants to go for a cheesy level 2 gank top. Viktor's doing a pretty good job mid, even though he should not let Cassiopeia push the lane in so early in the game. His CSing is good, even though he had to CS a bit under turret, so good job for that. So Viktor is taking a pretty risky trade right here. Slight mechanical misplay, he should have shielded before most of Cassiopeia's damage. Well, not a big deal again. Cassiopeia is losing a lot of health and mana to keep pushing the lane the way he does. And I want to point out that Viktor is not using his laser on the creeper as I would have expected. He's playing it safe early game, which in my opinion is an okay stylistic approach. But now that he's seeing Elise go bot, he should definitely start pushing mid north. Lee Sin and Renekton take the first blood on Riven. Again, Viktor is using his laser to harass, which I don't think is a good idea at this point in the game. Cassiopeia is pushing him too far in, making farming difficult for him. She's already 10 CS ahead. I would suggest pushing the wave with the laser instead of harassing this early in the game, because he doesn't have kill pressure anyway pre-6. There is not much point in harassing unless you can get a good Lee Sin gank. Lee Sin is being greedy and overextending. Cassiopeia gets the skill. She has to use Flash and Ghost, however. And most importantly, Cassiopeia gets blue buff, so this is going to be a big problem mid lane for Viktor. Viktor comes back with a double Doran's ring, which is very good since he's being pushed around in lane. Again, he's using He's using laser to harass, which, in my opinion, as I've said countless times, is a mistake. And even more so as Cassiopeia has blue buff. Now, Cassiopeia is roaming bot side, and Viktor is still not doing a great job in pushing the wave. Now, this is a big mistake. You want to push the wave anytime the enemy mid laner leaves the lane, so that you maximize the CS they're going to miss to the turret. And at the same time, you minimize the CS that you are going to lose if you follow their pushing. So Viktor is now starting to push the lane. Since Cassiopeia gets a kill, Viktor is pushing one more wave. Now, a small mistake here. Viktor, let's go back 15 seconds. Viktor pushes the wave into the turret and starts attacking the turret. Now this is a big mistake. Why? Because you want this wave, you want that wave actually, to die as fast as possible, so that this wave and the next wave coming all crash into the tower, as Cassiopeia is still down bottom. By attacking the turret, all you're doing is not damaging the minions. And by damaging the minions, your minions are going to die a lot slower. And that early game means that these minions are going to do more damage to the turret. So a small mistake he's doing here is that he's attacking the turret instead of the minions, which I don't think is a big deal at this point in time. But in general, as a principle for wave control, you want to attack the minions over the tower if the laner is not there, because you're going to do practically the same turret damage, and you're going to crash more waves into the tower, resulting in more missed CS for them. So Viktor gets ganked by Cassiopeia and Elise. He uses Ghost, he survives and escapes just fine. Renekton solo kills Riven, which honestly shouldn't happen, but it's pretty difficult for Riven to stay alive in this lane after Renekton has been given one kill. Good gank by Lee Sin. Viktor almost died to Cassiopeia, but he survived, so everything is fine. Again, good job, he's trying to push the wave in. He's a little low on mana though. Goes back. I want to point out that he's doing a good job of buying pink wards. He's not doing a very good job of placing them. So yeah, buying pink wards is important, but if you're not placing them, you're not doing a very good job with them. So just a reminder, place your pink wards. Otherwise, they're useless. I think that's kind of obvious. So Hex Core upgrade, pretty good idea. He had to sell the Doran's Ring for that, which is debatable if it was worth it, but now he finally has enough wave clear to outpush the Cassiopeia. Now, small mistake, he wastes a little bit of time going towards bot side and then changes his mind. He sees Cassiopeia cannot take any more kills even though Sona just died. What he should have done is instantly push the wave, which he's going to do now. Upgraded laser is gonna help that a lot. Again, doing the same mistake, attacking the turret instead of the minions. But again, that's okay because he can clear them pretty fast anyways. Cassiopeia goes for the 1v1, Viktor has to flash away. A little greedy turnaround there, trying to get the ward. Cassiopeia overextends into the team, dies. Hiding here was a little bit greedy, especially when using the laser, because Cassiopeia could have just turned and attempted to kill you. I'm not 100% sure if she could have, but still it was a risky play. It paid off. But it might not always have paid off. So Viktor gets ganked and has to use his Ghost. And the main reason for this is the lack of vision topside. Like, he still has the pink ward. He could have warded here. Maybe he still wouldn't have had the vision here. But then again, that he's not the only one that should be warding. So All I have to say is use your words. Good job on not dying to Elise gank, even though you had to use Ghost. And Victor just goes back. That pink word should not have stayed alive so long. Like, you had the opportunity to kill it many times. We see Cassiopeia doing a good job and pushing the wave in so that Victor loses some CS. Pushes the second wave. Good play by Lee Sin, good ult by Cassiopeia. I don't understand why exactly she tried to kill Victor, like by going behind him instead of just going back. A little bit greedy. Works out for blue team. If Victor gets caught, man, you still have not placed your pink ward. I don't know what to say at this point. Just please place it somewhere. Like, it could have been here. It could have been here. Could have been here. It could have been here. It could have been here. Just place it somewhere so that you can see Elise and avoid this from happening. And then again, we have not seen Victor roaming once this game. While Cassiopeia has roamed both twice, so she's now going top. This is a big mistake on his part, even though he's slightly out farming here. He's not doing a very good job of out farming here, honestly. Because Cassiopeia is pushing the wave always very well before ganking. So at this point, Victor wants to just run and try to save Renekton from Cassiopeia and Riven. We see him pinking. But he's just going for the next wave instead of going for Renekton. Renekton is heavily overextended at this point. Cassiopeia has to come back to take the minions. Renekton goes back at a pretty risky position, I have to say. Lee Sin finally kills the pink ward. Victor finally places his own pink ward. Victor kills Elise, good job, nice skirmish. Red team gets a free dragon because of lack of vision of blue team, and even though they see both lanes sees the dragon dying, they underestimate red team and they keep pushing the lane very greedily, making a mistake and getting caught out. So at this point, blue team should try to get some vision in red team's jungle to get some picks. Even though the score is 9-12, the gold is pretty even because Renekton is out farming Riven very hard. So blue team has to get some vision in the red team jungle. Renekton has to stop overextending. Like, he has gotten away with it many times, but this time he's gonna die. He's 1 against 3. And poor vision control is partially at fault for Renekton dying, even though he was very, very extended.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Red team gets a free turret because Riven kills Lee Sin, and Viktor is unable to help him because he's low on mana. Viktor's team keeps using their trinkets defensively, trying to ward their own jungle. The thing is, they're not so far behind that they need to do that. Like, Team Red is playing very greedily and overextending. Look at, for example, that Vayne right around there. Warding the enemy team's jungle at this point would be much better. Simply because Blue team can just turn this around by getting a single pick and turning that into turret. They don't need to teamfight against Lux. Good job by Renekton and Lee Sin getting the pick, getting the free turret, overextending a little bit, so Vayne gets a triple kill in the process. Quadra kill. Pentakill? Nope. Riven gets the final kill, getting the ace. So what went wrong in that play? Let's go back 30 seconds. Or 45 seconds. You get the pick, and then Renekton chooses to engage into Vayne and Karma. Now, even though you have the numbers advantage, Lee Sin has no ult. You have no ult. Renekton engages into Vayne and Karma, who have very good peel. Very good back potential and peel. So this is primarily a mistake on Renekton, but at this point you should have just let him die and run, instead of running into the Vayne, which you know you can't kill because you don't have your ultimate up. You get exhausted by Karma, and that gets you killed. And then the rest of your team dies. So the only thing you could have done at that point was A, ping Renekton back, like don't greed for the kills after getting the turret, and B, after he goes in, just don't fight, run back, let him die, let him flame you for not following up on his engage. Sometimes your teammates are going to make stupid engages like that, and if you know that it's not going to work out, just don't follow up, let them die, stay back. And had you stayed alive at this point, you might have been able to save the mid lane turret, because Viktor's E is just such good wave clear with the Hex Core enchantment. And the second thing is, you did not have vision control over Elise. You did not see Elise coming from here. Which is a pretty big mistake that I have been pointing out again and again. Vision control is pretty poor. Like, you have this mid lane ward which is a bit useless, this ward which doesn't provide too much information, this ward which I think Lee Sin used for a ward jump, this ward, so a lot of useless warding, and like this ward which is not really doing anything because the enemy team is not rotating in your jungle. While the enemy team has a blue buff ward which is very useful, 2 pink wards that you have not spotted yet, and a ward here. So neither team has perfect vision control at any point, but like for blue team, the map is practically black. Like, you can't see anything at this point. You have no idea what's happening. Dragon is spawning soon, and there's nothing you can do about it simply because you can't see where the enemy team is, and that's what led to Vayne getting a free quadra kill. The greedy engage, along with the fact that you had no vision control. So let's play this again. Let's continue. They get the ace. Now Riven goes B, which is pretty stupid. They should have just taken the turret or dragon. So you always wanna, you never wanna fight for nothing. Like, a fight whose outcome is not gonna give you a turret or a dragon or a baron is pretty much a useless fight, and you're just wasting time dead instead of farming. So the enemy team made a big mistake. They could have gotten a tower, they could have gotten a dragon. They decided to take neither of those two things, which is pretty bad. And now they team up top. You should have been there a little earlier to use your wave clear. You are your team's primary wave clear. Sona misses the ult. Renekton goes super aggressive again, dies. You and Lee Sin do a good job of killing Griffin. But at the same time, Vayne is always pushing bot. So even though you won that fight, or actually no, you didn't win that fight, it was 2 for 2. Red team still has the advantage because they have Vayne still pushing. Oh, red team, yeah. So Vayne again is taking your buffs as you have no vision control. And now at this point, red team is 7k gold ahead, which means they can force fights like that. Vayne is very fed. Griffin is pushing bottom lane. Red team goes for a dragon, which is a pretty good idea because your team has to go back and defend against Vayne. Cassiopeia and defend against Riven, my bad. Cassiopeia and Vayne can take the barn buff really fast. Enemy team makes a big miscommunication, half of the team goes back, the other half tries to go mid, and you kill them, which is doing a good job getting the pick right there. You see, that's what happens, because at this point, even though you're losing, you have pretty good vision control of your own jungle. So you know where Riven is when she stops split pushing, when she tries to go back, so you can gank her at this point. And even though this is probably not going to work out, it shows that knowing where the opponent is gives you the big advantage of knowing where to rotate. And then this one here helps you get the kill on Elise and Cassiopeia, who are coming back, who are coming back instead of going B. Nice play on the Vayne, sadly QSS saves her. Again, Renekton goes super greedy, overextends, Vayne kites. You wasted some time there chasing Vayne, but that's okay because there is no objective on the map the enemy team can take. So you're preparing for a fight top lane. I would suggest to avoid this fight. Like the best thing you can do at this point is wave clear internal until gold no longer matters in this game. So you can just wave clear, have Renekton wave clear bot. Try to avoid and disengage all fights with Sona ult and Lee Sin ult. So Lee Sin gets a very good pick on Riven. And you win the fight, partially because Vayne is stupid and goes full double lift mode, split pushing bottom. But Sona overextends a little bit, that gives Vayne the double kills, she almost kills you too. 3 kills, 4 kills. So a lot of mechanical misplays, honestly, that like giving these many kills to Vayne after you just won a fight should not have happened. You should have had the vision control and the communication to avoid it. Now, Vayne and Karma being stupid, they should have been pushing mid or bottom instead of just taking blue buff and going back. This gives your team the chance to respawn and try to go for another fight. Enemy team is taking a free dragon. There's nothing you can do about it, honestly. You have to just give it away. And now watching what should be the final fight. You go top to wave clear, however you're a little bit low on mana, so you have to go into the fountain before the next fight. Lee Sin gets a good kick on Cassiopeia, but the follow-up isn't enough to kill her. Renekton goes on Riven, but at this point he's super behind and there's nothing he can do about it. Vayne just keeps hitting on the inhib. And at this point Vayne just destroys all your team. Triple kill. Quadra, maybe Penta? Yeah, Penta. And at this point, their team easily wins the game. So, honestly, there is not much you could have done for bot lane, losing a matchup that they should have won. However, there are some things that you can do. So, the three major mistakes you made this game is that A, you did not play to your champion's advantage. You let Cassiopeia push you in early game, even though you had the advantage because of the laser, which can easily push the wave. You had been using it to harass instead of wave clear, which was a big mistake. Then even after you started wave clear and pushing the lane, you did not roam as much as you should have. I think you did not roam bot or top once this whole game, which is a very big mistake on your part. And finally, one turtle, one behind, you need to know not to fight. You need to know not to follow the crazy Renekton that's doing stupid shit. You need to stay back, wave clear, using your laser, because that's the best tool you have, honestly, in this game. You can just wave clear and stall. And by wave clearing, ambient gold is going to be given to both your team and the enemy team. You're both going to have enough gold. And at that point, the gold the enemy team has does not matter. So, yes, the enemy team probably scales better anyway, so you maybe would have lost. But fighting with a 15k gold lead is worse at 34 minutes than it is at 50 minutes. So, had you been able to wave clear enough and stall the game enough, then you might still have had the chance to turn this game around. So, this is Costa from Roxxare Instant Coaching. Thank you for watching this replay.